If you grew up in Sunday school, you know this story.
4 friends, a paralyzed man, a crowded house, and a hole in the roof.
It is a classic story about teamwork and determination. But if we stop there, we miss the most shocking theological claim Jesus ever made. Let us rewind to the beginning, in Mark chapter 2. Jesus returns to his home base in Capernaum.
The word spreads like wildfire that the healer is back in town.
Immediately, the house is packed to the absolute brim. There is no room left, not even outside the door. Inside, Jesus is preaching the word to them. The crowd is so dense that nobody can move an inch. Then 4 men arrive carrying a paralyzed friend on a mat. They brought him to Jesus, hoping for a physical miracle. But when they get to the house, they face a solid wall of human bodies. They cannot get through the door, but they refuse to give up. So they drag this heavy mat up the steep exterior stone stairs, and they start tearing apart the mud and branches with their bare hands. Imagine the scene. Dirt falling from the ceiling right onto Jesus and the crowd. Jesus stops preaching as a hole opens up above him. The religious leaders are completely annoyed, brushing dirt off their expensive white robes. Suddenly, a paralyzed man is lowered down right into the middle of the room. He lands right at the feet of the teacher, completely helpless. Mark tells us something fascinating, he says. When Jesus saw their faith, he did not just look at the paralyzed man. He looked up at the friends who wrecked a roof. Sometimes when your own faith runs out, you need the faith of your community to carry you. Then Jesus looks back down at the man lying in the dirt. The entire room is holding their breath, waiting for Jesus to heal his legs. Everyone expects a physical miracle right now. But Jesus completely derails the room with one sentence. He looks at the man and says, "Son, your sins are forgiven." Wait, what? His sins? Look at him. His legs are completely useless. Imagine being that man you just got lowered through a roof to walk again. Did Jesus make a mistake? Did he misunderstand the assignment? Absolutely not. Jesus is making a profound statement here. He is addressing the root of human suffering, not just the symptom. Physical healing, without spiritual forgiveness, is like cutting the top off a weed. The deadly root of sin is still there, destroying you from the inside. Jesus knows that the deepest paralysis is the one that separates us from God. But the religious leaders in the room, they catch this theological shockwave instantly. In their minds, they are screaming, "This is absolute blasphemy. Who does this guy think he is who can forgive sins but God alone?" And honestly, according to their strict law, they were completely right. If you break my window, my neighbor cannot forgive your debt. Only the one who was offended has the authority to forgive the offense. By forgiving sins, Jesus is claiming to be God himself in the flesh. Jesus immediately knows what they are thinking in their hearts. He looks right at them and exposes their silent anger. Why are you thinking these things in your hearts? Imagine the pure terror of having your mind read by the Creator. The Pharisees freeze, completely paralyzed by his divine knowledge. Then Jesus poses a brilliant philosophical trap. He asks them which is easier, to say to this paralyzed man, "Your sins are forgiven," or to say, "Get up, take your mat, and walk." Think about that riddle for a second. Which one is actually easier to say out loud? Anyone can claim to forgive sins. It is completely invisible and impossible to verify. You cannot measure forgiveness or see it with your eyes. But to tell a paralyzed man to walk, that requires instant, visible, undeniable proof. If he says walk and the man does not move, he is exposed as a fraud. Jesus knows he cannot fail, so he sets the trap. He turns his attention back to the man on the floor, and he speaks the words that change everything. "But so that you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins," he said to the paralyzed man, "I tell you, get up, take your mat, and go home." The entire room goes completely silent. The Pharisees are watching closely, waiting for him to fail. Every single eye is fixed on those motionless legs. For a split second, nothing happens, and then a toe twitches. A muscle flexes. The man pushes his hands into the dirt floor. Life is flooding back into his dead limbs. And then he stands up, completely tall and strong. He reaches down and rolls up his dirty mat. The very thing that carried him, he now carries. The massive crowd parts like the Red Sea. He walks right out the front door, a healed man. Jesus just delivered the ultimate theological checkmate. The visible proof validates the invisible claim. If he has the power to fix the physical body, then he definitely has the authority to forgive the spiritual soul. The religious leaders are completely humiliated and trapped. They have no argument left. Their theology was shattered by reality. Up on the roof, the four friends are celebrating wildly. Down in the house, the crowd erupts into praise. They glorify God, saying, "We have never seen anything like this." The physical miracle was just a sign pointing to the greater truth. But there is an even deeper layer to this miracle. Hundreds of years earlier, the prophet Isaiah painted a picture. He wrote that when God comes, the lame will leap like a deer. The Pharisees had memorized that exact scroll. They knew the prophecies. But because Jesus did not fit their expectations, they were completely blind. The common people, however, they saw the prophecy unfolding right in front of them. Jesus was proving that he was the long-awaited king bringing heaven to earth. And in his kingdom, restoration is total, both spiritual and physical. The physical healing was a preview of the eternal restoration coming for all of us. But Jesus makes it very clear, the kingdom always starts from the inside out. He has to heal the paralysis of our sin before he fixes the circumstances of our lives. That man thought his biggest problem was that his legs did not work. He did not realize he was being lowered into the very presence of his Creator. When Jesus forgives your sins, he transforms your past into proof of his power. So here is the real question for you today. What is your mat? Is it a past failure, a secret addiction, or a label someone put on you? Jesus does not just want to comfort you in your paralysis. He wants to forgive your root sin and transform it by his grace. And then he commands you to pick up that mat and walk. Let your conquered past prove his present power. But what if you are spiritually healthy right now? Then it is your turn to pick up a corner of the mat. Look around you who is paralyzed in your life right now. Who needs you to be the roof-crashing friend that refuses to give up? Be the friend who digs through the obstacles. Grab a corner of their mat and carry them to Jesus in prayer. Sometimes, God honors the faith of the community when your own faith is empty. We see the religious leaders storming away in defeat. They had nothing left to say. Their rigid theology was shattered. But the crowd out in the street erupted into pure worship. Because when the great physician deals with the root of your sin, the symptoms of your life are radically transformed. He did not just come to fix your legs. He came to save your eternal soul. The chains of past mistakes and hidden shame are shattered completely. You do not have to carry the weight of your unhealed trauma anymore. When we carry each other to Jesus, we get to witness the miracle together. The cross is the ultimate proof that your sins are paid in full. Jesus is looking right at you today with that same intense love. He wants to take your heart of stone and give you a heart of flesh. He's inviting you to step out of the darkness and into his marvelous light. It is time to leave your old identity behind in the dirt. He knows exactly what you need, and he has the authority to forgive it all. His grace will always outweigh your heaviest mistakes. Do not hide your past. Use it as a powerful testimony of his grace. Every step forward is a testament to the one who made you walk again, because the creator of the universe is still in the business of healing souls. The Pharisees thought they had Jesus cornered. They thought they caught him in a blasphemous lie. But instead, Jesus trapped them in their own rigid theology, proving with one undeniable miracle that the Creator was standing right in front of them. He did not just come to win theological debates. He came to set the captives free. And that same Creator has the absolute authority to forgive whatever is paralyzing you today. Drop your mat and walk in his grace. If this breakdown helped you see Mark chapter 2 in a completely new light, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss our weekly deep dives. But this was not the only time Jesus used a physical miracle to hide a massive spiritual secret. Did you know the specific number of fish, 153, in John chapter 21, is not random? It is a profound prophetic message that most Christians completely miss. Click the video on your screen right now to uncover the secret of the 153 fish. Keep digging into the Word, and I will see you over there. God bless.